Blog Talk Radio.
It's time for the Mark Allen and Felton Show.
I got it. You got it.
Join Mark Allen Felton every week as he takes on that all-too-familiar subject, men, women, and their relationships. Never a dull moment.
Mark Allen Felton. I do it for love. The ultimate love CD. Includes the hit singles, Love Me, I'm All Yours, Love Jones, Love Collins, and Do It. Now available at markallenfelton.com. Get your copy today.
And I wonder
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mark Allen Felton Show, where we take on that all-too-familiar subject, men, women, and their relationships. This week, the topic is, what's your wish list for the perfect mate? And our special guest is Miss Terry Ellis, who you know from the Grammy-nominated American Female R&B Vocal Quartet, En Vogue. What's up, Terry?
What's up?
Girl, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right, man. I think it's been a while since the masses have heard from you guys. What you been up to?
You know, we're just trying to keep busy, doing a lot of work with Dawn. She's back, so doing a lot of spot dates on the road, and that's been really, really cool.
Okay, so Dawn is back?
Dawn is back. For how long? We're hoping for a while, but, you know, she's here. So.
Hey, look here. You know we got to get into a little bit of that. But, you know, before we get into that too deep, I just want to let you know this is about men, women, and their relationships. And I know being in a group like that attracting all kind of men, I'm sure. Hey, come on now. Don't play with me now. I know what's up. I know everywhere you go, y'all probably got them guys that's going crazy. Okay, that sounds like you lying laugh. You know you're lying. We all know y'all came out there looking all good and scrumptious, and all the brothers got in trouble with their women and everything for looking at y'all and putting the posters on the wall and all that kind of stuff. Come on now. Hey, do me a favor. Tell me, what's one of your most bizarre stories that you've ever encountered in reference to being on the road and somebody being excited about seeing you?
Well, you know, I don't have any bizarre stories, but it was really cool to see, you know, whenever we would do Giving Them Something They Can Feel, which was the red dresses, your brothers would rush to the foot of the stage. And, you know, you don't see that often because brothers are usually reserved. You know, that's usually the female fans doing that with the male fans.
Was it frantic like?
No, I mean, you know, it wasn't frantic because I don't think brothers will ever lose their cool reserve, but they got up out of their seats and they would come to the foot of the stage.
Wow.
And they were standing there like, yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Them red dresses were definitely kicking. I mean, them red dresses was like, God, dog. Would you consider that to be like one of the group's trademarks?
The trademark was definitely fashion, yeah.
I see a lot of girl groups out there that seem to be imitating En Vogue style. How does that feel?
Well, it always feels good to be appreciated for your work, you know. But there were so many girl groups before us, so the blueprint was already pretty much laid. I will say the difference with us probably was that we had 4 lead singers, you know, and it was, you know, back then the norm was a 3-girl group, and there was always 1 lead singer. So with us, you know, it just so happens that it turned out you had 4 lead singers.
Can we go back, like all the way back, like when you were that little girl just thinking about singing? Do you remember when you first started to want to really sing?
I remember when I looked at it from a professional viewpoint. I started singing at the age of 12, but I remember I was probably about 16 years old. I remember sitting on the couch watching the Soul Train Awards, and I remember looking and thinking and actually verbalizing. I'll never forget it. I was like, I'm going to be doing that. I'll be on that show.
Wow, is that right?
Yep, I remember that. And it happened.
I mean, was it something like that was just in your bones that you just kind of knew?
Yeah, it was definitely a knowing for me because I was always pretty calm about that. You know, I never had tapes made and tried to pass tapes along. I just sang, and that was what I loved doing, and that's what I was cool doing, and that's what I always did. And me getting out there was always by somebody else's word of mouth.
What was your first professional job? Do you remember?
I started singing with a friend of mine in the band called Perfect Timing.
Okay.
And we sang in a lot of the local nightclubs around town, and we were about 17, 18 years old.
Do you remember how much you got paid?
$25.
What?
Yeah.
Big time, huh?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it was big time.
$25? God, dog. Hey, did that strengthen your dream? Like, hey, I got some money for this. I'm really going to do this now, huh?
Yeah, actually, it was definitely encouraging, and I got a chance to go shopping because that's what I was thinking about probably most at that time.
What can you buy for $25?
Well, back then you could buy a bunch of stuff.
Oh, we got some Now and Later, some Skittles, or what? Some candy or something?
It wasn't just $25. I was working the whole weekend. That's what I did. My weekends were filled with gigging. So now take us down the path. What happened next? So you were working as a professional on the weekends, playing with a group called Perfect Timing. And then from there, right? Okay. Yeah.
From there you went to college, or what happened next?
Then I went to college, and I actually there was another professional gig with this guy by the name of Kashif, music producer.
Yeah, we all know Kashif.
And he basically wanted to put together the same kind of concept before En Vogue was like En Vogue. And he came to, I went to Prairie View A&M University, and he came to speak. And I ended up singing with him, and he gave me a contract. So I joined the group. It was this group he wanted to put together, a girl group. And for some reason, I didn't feel comfortable in that situation. I don't know why. I just didn't feel comfortable. And so I remember praying that I could get out of that situation. And it just happened like magic. I was out. I got a phone call one day saying that the record company said it was a red flag because I lived so far away that they were going to have to be, putting out more money just to get me there. And so it was cool. Contract was done, deleted, obsolete.
Wow.
And then I got a call from you and Gary saying, hey, you need to come up here and audition for these 2 guys.
Okay, y'all hear that now. Y'all hear that. So what happened? Speak a little slow about that now. What happened? Now tell everybody what happened.
Well, after that, I got a phone call from you and a guy named Gary Reeves, because you had told Gary about, I guess Gary knew Tommy and Denny, the 2 guys from Club Nouveau, and they wanted to put together a girl group, and you mentioned me to Gary, and then you called and said, hey, you need to come out here and audition for this. I don't know what you got to do, but you need to get out here and come audition for this.
That's right. Well, tell them what you did, though. Tell them what you did to get out there to audition for En Vogue. Tell them what you had to do.
Well, I had just gotten my rent money because I was in college at the time and I was living off campus. And I had a roommate, and so I had to come up with my half of the rent, and it was already 2 weeks late. And I had just gotten the money from my aunt. It was $244. And Southwest Airlines had round-trip tickets for $244, same exact amount at that time. And so I took my rent money, and I flew out to California to audition for the group.
Wow, you hear that, John? Did you hear that? You took your rent money, money that you had to pay to live in this particular apartment to go audition for En Vogue.
Yep, and I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. I just remember when I was on the plane thinking, you know what, I got to do this. It doesn't matter. If I don't do this, I might regret it. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's all good.
Wow. See, you know what?
Yeah.
As quiet as it's kept, a lot of people need to hear that because, when you're focused on something, you can make things happen. Matter of fact, you know me, and I talk about the quote that came to me one day was when you make a precision decision, you make an incision into your vision, thus giving you everything you need to complete your mission. And that's what you did back then.
That's what I did.
And that's how you ended up auditioning for En Vogue. Now, I understand because me and Gary was talking about it back then, and I remember telling Gary, I said, look, man, he knew you because he had came out to Houston at the time. And I said, Gary, I think she can do this, man, and just get her in there, get her into the front of the line. I said, man, I can do that. Because at the time, I remember him telling me there was a lot of girls auditioning for that group at the same time. I said, just get her to the front, and I bet you she'll knock it out. All I know is that one day, we had that conversation. The next day, you were on the plane, and I think a couple days later, guess what? I'm in the group.
Yep.
And the rest, that's a trip. And I remember the first gig in L.A. when you came down with the girls and you were nervous and stuff. It was some little club gig or something